Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Dr. Herbert Harris, and this is Success Mentorship Class number 368. And our topic for today is very good. I love hearing myself talk. You can tell. Our topic for today is unlocking the hidden messages in your dreams. And we have a guest speaker today, Sheila Balgog. Let me get it right. Balgobin. Did I get it
Yeah.
right? All right,
Yeah.
beautiful. And this is going to be an incredible day because dreams are like portals to our subconscious mind. And so often we can get information from our dreams, but we never rarely know how to interpret them. And so they often just go away. So you'll hear more about that, but let me sort of get us all set up and into our right mindset. I invite you all, of course, to visit our website, herbertharris.com, and uh, check out our books, The 12 Universal Laws of Success, some of our other courses, and you can book a success consultation if you need to talk to somebody about where you're going and what you want to do and how you're going to get there. We also invite you to check out our courses, New You for the New Year and the Success Toolbox, all things that are designed to help you be what you want to be, do what you want to do, and have anything you desire. So before we get started, let us get ourselves centered and separate from the outside world and focus on the inside world. Close our outer eyes, open our inner eyes. Take a deep breath and hold it. Let it out slowly. Take a deep breath and hold it. Let it out slowly. I am at peace with myself. In this space of peace and relaxation, let us affirm I am at peace with myself. Once more, I am at peace with myself. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. And in this state of peace and relaxation, my mind is open, receptive, and ready to learn. Let us affirm that together. My mind is open, receptive, and ready to learn. Let that sink in. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. And so it is. All right, folks, we're in for a super, super treat. I wanted to give you some background on our speaker, but I'm going to let her do that and share her powerful message to help you be what you want to be, do what you want to do, and have anything you desire. So let me change our settings here for a moment and let's bring up our speaker. Here we are. Good morning, Sheila.
Good morning. Good morning, Dr. Harris. Good morning, Mastermind. And good morning, all you listeners out there, wherever you may be.
But tell us a little about your background yourself.
Well, my name is Sheila Balgobin, as you know. I'm known as the Dream Decipherer, and I help people to find what I call the gobbledygook and the gold of their dreams so that they can make better life decisions, whether it be on a personal level or professional level. I come by this gift of being able to understand dreams through my family. The women in my line have been gifted with the ability to use dreams to help other people in some way. My particular take on that gift is to be able to understand the messages in dreams. But I combine that with many years, over 25 years as a holistic therapist and as a psychotherapist. So I use all of those skills together to be able to get people to look at their dreams as not just the result of cheap wine or cheese at night or whatever the case may be, but have powerful messages that can literally change our lives. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that today in terms of entrepreneurship. Now, people don't realize how many things that have been invented or created because of dreams. The first one, Google, was developed because of a dream. The 12 the double helix of DNA, Einstein's E equals MC squared, irons, all kinds of things have been invented because of dreams. So as an entrepreneur, my question to you is, what are you missing out on by not listening to your dreams? So, but before I get into the why exactly we dream, I'd like to do a little brief little exercise, which I'll explain to you how to do it, and then afterwards what it's for. So, what you're going to do in this little exercise is you're going to start at the top of your ears and unroll the fold of your ear, going all the way down to the lobe and giving a gentle tug. And you do that just a couple of times. Unroll the fold in your ear and bring it down all the way down to the lobe and give a gentle tug. Now, this exercise is called the thinking cap. It's from a book called Brain Gym for Business. And what this does is help us not only to screen out distracting noise and improve our listening ability, but improve short-term memory and abstract thinking skills, which is what you really need to be able to work with your dreams. So that's something that you can do anytime, anywhere, just for a few moments. And when you really need to focus and concentrate, that can help. So that's a little thing for you to take away today. And I thought it would be interesting to share with you some dream facts that you may or may not know. For example, before the advent of color TV in 1950, only 15% of people dreamed in color. Now it's about 75%, and that includes people who are blind but may have had sight at one time. Now, dreaming in color or black and white is significant in terms of literally how the color, the tone of a dream. So color or non-color is important. And finally, the people who are in our dreams are not necessarily themselves. They represent some aspect of us. So they could be themselves and appearing as themselves, but in the movie of our lives, they're playing a role that is one of the characters that is us. So I just thought you'd like to hear that. And one more thing interesting, 90% of a dream is forgotten within the first 5 minutes of waking up. And that includes everybody, including me. So the only way really to capture that information is to kind of program yourself. And I'll try to get into that just a bit later. So why exactly do we dream? Now, there's many theories about that, and neuroscience is coming up with stuff, but the jury is still out as to exactly why we dream. But for me, there is a relationship between our unconscious mind and the conscious mind. The unconscious mind clocks everything that's going on around us, from the birds singing to people arguing upstairs to the back car backfiring, etc., and clocks all of that information during our waking hours. Well, it actually works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but it's clocking all that information. And at night, when we're no longer distracted by the tables and chairs of life, the mind is sifting through information, consolidating memory, which the brain does while we're asleep. And anything that is of significance to us as a person, the unconscious mind will float up as a dream. and as if to say, hello, hey, pay attention to this. This could be important for you. Now, it's up to us to either heed the message or ignore it. And the unconscious will not be denied. It will haunt you and hunt you down until you kind of respond to the message that's being sent. But the reason why that there's this disconnect between our conscious mind and the unconscious mind is very simple. The part of the brain that um, creates dreams is the what's called the limbic or reptilian brain. This was the first part, oldest part of the brain that developed before we had language. So it's image rich. You know, we see a saber-toothed cat, that meant run. Those berries that look so good that nearly killed us, we remember stay away from those. So the information is captured as images. The neocortex, the new brain, which is the higher functions of counting, evaluating, being the bean counters of life, essentially, came later. So, and that used words. So there's this slight disconnect between the reptilian brain and the higher brain, where our higher functions and reasoning functions are. So when the dream is floated up by the unconscious mind, the conscious mind goes, "What is this nonsense?" and immediately dismisses it. But dreams have their own language. They have their own way of presenting information, and each person has to learn to crack their individual codes to be able to understand the meaning. Now, over the years, I have identified some 5 types of dreams that I have come across either in my own dreams or in client dreams, and how I'll take a look at them briefly to see how they could relate to a business person, how they could possibly use those dreams to bolster or start or improve their business. Now, the first dream type of dream that I talk about is the smokestack dream. And that's the just burns off the remains of the day. Somebody cuts you off on the way to work. Your teenagers are driving you completely up the wall. If you have a boss, he's making impossible demands. And you couldn't burn off those minor stresses at the time, so they kind of accumulate, and at night snippets of those incidents will come up in the dream. So there's just burning off that minor stress. So those are smokestack dreams. The next is a snapshot dream, and the snapshot dream is just exactly that. It kind of frames a situation or relationship or whatever the case may be, and says pretty much, this is what it's like with your soul this day. So it just kind of frames for us if we're kind of unsure of what's going on. This dream actually comes in and says, okay, you're not sure what's going on. Let me tell you what the story is. And that's the snapshot dream. Now, the most interesting dreams that would be pretty relevant to uh, entrepreneurs would be our problem solving or creative dreams. And this is where things are invented, things are created, a problem with a customer or a problem with a product is worked out. The unconscious mind works 24/7, 365. So it will, like as a subroutine, this is the greatest computer that we on the planet up here. And it will work on this subroutine trying to figure out how to solve this problem. And suddenly you'll see something, you'll hear something, or an idea will come in your head that has been presented to you as a possible solution. So again, it's about paying attention. The message may not come to you directly from your dream. It may be signaling something that, like I said, a stranger in the street may say something. You may hear something on the news channel. So you read something in the newspaper. So it's about being alert and paying attention, because the signals and the information can come from various places. You just have to be alert. Then there's what I call the big medicine dreams. And those are literally the life-changing dreams. Dreams like that in my life saved my life, literally, from 9/11 and brought an old flame back into my life. And we had a 25-year marriage until he passed away. So these are dreams that are so powerful and so clear that even many years later, they will still stick in your mind with with great strength and clarity. And they literally have the power to change our lives if we heed them. So the final category of dreams that I've discovered, or rather rediscovered, is that of communal dreaming. We don't dream just for ourselves. We dream for others as well. And to give you an example of that, just before lockdown occurred, I was living in London and I was getting messages from clients from all over the planet about bugs, about China, about insect infestations, bugs. So, and that was literally just before COVID lockdown began. People were picking this energy up from the ether, all over the planet. And they didn't understand what the dreams were about. But when the pandemic hit and everybody was locked down, it became very clear what people had been pulling down from the ethers with regard to what was coming up. So, but it's not just to foretell disasters. The Hopi and Navajo people sit down together, their elders sit down and dream the world that their great, 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 great grandchildren are going to inherit. Dream time in Australia among the Aborigine people, the time before time, where nothing lives and nothing dies. So it's been for many traditional cultures that set great store by dreams, and even today still listen to dreams and sit down together and discuss dreams. I was speaking with a group of ladies in Hong Kong, and the Chinese culture is still very much attached to the importance of dreams. So there, it was really refreshing to speak to an audience that just got it. They just understood that dreams had an importance, that had a value, and could be used not only at the individual level, but at the communal level. One of my clients was actually giving esoteric teachings to one of his sons and the son's friend through dreams. Now, the next day, the son comes to the dad and his wife and says, "You know, I was dreaming and I was learning this stuff," and repeated back what the father had been teaching in his sleep to his son. So we can do all kinds of things with our dreams, and more neuroscience is finding out more and more what the capacity and abilities and purposes of dreams. Though there's still some argument as to whether dreams are absolutely necessary, but they are. And I know that from working doing drug and alcohol counseling when my clients were still drinking, drugging, or whatever they were doing, they didn't dream. Once they stopped doing whatever they were doing, they would dream constantly to the point where they were dreaming while they were awake. And this is where we see people, they seem completely psychotic. They're having arguments and conversations with somebody that's not there. That's because the unconscious mind has broken through to consciousness. And so they're interacting in this dream state, which is real. When we're in the dream state, it is just as real as if we were awake. You're there. I mean, I have smelled pine trees in my dreams and heard all kinds of music, all kinds of things. So when we're immersed in that dream state, we are completely immersed in it. It is real, no less real than being awake. So their dreaming, they're finding, is becoming more and more uh, respected and seen as a not just an adjunct of sleep, but has an importance in and of its own right. So I come back to the question of what exactly is the function of our dreams? Well, memory consolidation, certainly. The brain, while we're asleep, is sorting through memories and consolidating them. Emotional regulation. Dreams can help us to face challenges by preparing us maybe ahead of time for them, but also just as an escape valve. Things that upset us, the dreams allow us to work through the upsets without, hopefully, without too much trauma. And again, problem solving. So as an entrepreneur, how can your dreams help you? Well, let's look at the smokestack dream. Yes, it's burning off minor stresses and strains of the day, but what's behind those minor stresses and strains? Is it because something you've had a run-in with a client? Maybe this is a call to stop for a moment and be more patient and listen to what the client is actually saying to you, perhaps. But to not skim along the surface, but to go a bit deeper. If there is, if for the snapshot dream, maybe it's framing a particular situation. Maybe you've been stuck on developing a product and you've gotten to a certain point and you just can't seem to move forward. The As a subroutine, your unconscious is working on that in the background and will at some point maybe shoot up, or float up a message that can help you to break that deadlock. Now, the problem solving dreams and creative dreams, I mean, they speak for themselves. It's, a new business idea, a new way of of producing a product, a new way of a new process of some kind. These are these sparks that people get, sparks of creativity that can start a business, enhance a business, and grow it. So it's about freeing the mind to be able to look at things in a different way. Now, the big medicine dreams, I mean, those, like I said, are literally life-changing dreams. So that could be, to start a new business. It could be to move in a completely different direction with your business. So again, it's about listening to the clues, and being able to break them down in a way that will um, provide insight for you. And then your big medicine dreams, like I said, there's something that about them that can be a life guide in a sense for you, because the information that they contain is so immense, so life changing that there are dreams that revisit. The big dreams, what I call big medicine dreams, that I will revisit occasionally just to see, where I'm at with them. And they can serve that purpose as well. And then the communal dreams, like again, we don't dream just for ourselves. As a psychotherapist, my clients were always dreaming for me, and it was their unconscious to telling me, yes, that's you're on the right track, or no, sorry, you're off with the fairies with that one, try again. So my clients were actually dreaming for me and telling me, their unconscious telling me, yes, this is the right track to pursue, or no, it's not. So we can dream for others, we can dream about others, but the message is not just limited to our own little space, our own little universe, the unknown country within us, but is related to everyone and everything else. So that is pretty much my take on dreams, and I'd like to open up the floor now, really, to any of you that maybe there's a dream of some kind that has been bedeviling you, and you'd like some tips as to how to approach the dream. You don't have to go into great detail, but just to give you an idea of how you work with a dream. The idea is to break it down into chunks, little discrete chunks. And I follow the Jung's way of looking at a dream, which you start with a central idea, and it's like a hub and spoke. So you have the central idea and the other ideas that come from it, branching out, rather than Freud's way of viewing things, which was free association, which could take you further and further away from the dream and its meaning, I believe. But keeping it tight, keeping it close to the subject at hand, even if they're various subjects, but keeping them all as discrete units is the way to start to break down the dream and understand how what the message is, because the strands will come together in the story. But you have to understand the code. You have to crack your own code, and you can only do that if you're recording your dreams on a regular basis. So that's what I have to tell you today, and I hope it stimulates some thought and even maybe some questions about a particular dream you may have. So there you have it, folks. I hope that is something that will give you some food for thought.
I was so busy taking notes, I didn't want to make noise with my pen. But Sheila, thank you so very, very much. I I've never seen the different types of dreams broken down like that. And once you did that, it really gave me a new sense of how to use dreams. That when you just have this big vision of a dream as something kind of amorphous, airy fairy. But when you break it down, the smokestack, the snapshot, the creative, the big medicine, the communal dreaming, it just blew me away. So I thank you so much for that. And the communal dreaming in my younger days, I remember being out in Arizona with the Indians and the with the peyote, and that was a part of one of the rituals. I didn't know it was communal dreaming, but that's what it was. And this common dream and the visions that we had, and I think the peyote just sort of so many times we say that we can't do it. We define our own limitations. It's almost like your dreams are just dreams and have no connection to reality. But that was such a powerful being. So what we'll do is this: the live broadcast. Let me put that, complete that, and then we'll have the discussion because I know that everybody has notes, and thoughts, and ideas, and sharings about how dreams have transformed their lives. So for the world out there, those on YouTube who've been watching us live, thank you so much for being with us. I know that this message that Sheila has shared with you is a powerful one. Sheila, what is your main website in case people want to reach you?
It's called Crack Your Dream Code, all one word, .com.
Crackyourdreamcode.com. So if you want to crackyourdreamcode.com, crack your dream code, then go to crackyourdreamcode.com. Once again, this is Dr. Herbert Harris. This has been Success Mentorship Class number 368 on discovering the meaning of your dreams, understanding the meaning of your dreams, and how to use your dreams affirmatively. Be sure to visit our website for more information, herbertharris.com. Get a copy of your book and go and follow our YouTube channel each and every Saturday as we share success mentorship classes that can help you be what you want to be, do what you want to do, and have anything you desire, always knowing that the best is yet to come. And so it is.